loud.
Okay. Do it the way you did last week.
Okay, so guys, let's start. If you talk on the phone, remember, mute yourself.
Niet mich wo, die Märten grün en gefinst mich dort, nicht mein Schatz, wo Lebenswelken bei mir schienen, dort ist mein Ruheplatz, dort ist mein Ruheplatz. Niet such mich wo, die Vögel singen, gefinst mich dort, nicht mein Schatz. A Schlaf bin ich, wo Ketten klingen, dort ist mein Ruheplatz. Dort ist mein Ruheplatz. Nicht such mich wo, von Tannen spritzen, mich dort nicht mein Schatz. Wo Tränen rinnen, Zähne kriechen, dort ist mein Ruheplatz. Mit wahrer Liebe, du kommst mein guter Schatz. Unheiter und mein Herz, das triebe und mach mir süß mein Ruheplatz. Mach mir süß mein Ruheplatz. Mach mir süß mein Ruheplatz.
Okay.
Words match the tune, the Yiddish words.
I cannot move the words. I have an old computer, and when I start moving it around, it stops the music. So
it's okay. I just thought I couldn't read it. I didn't understand.
No, that's why also we are listening to it twice. So Marsha, you wanted to say something?
Yes, everyone please mute, because when you cough, when you rattle papers, it comes on the recording. And I will send it out if you want me to later.
Okay. Janet, would you like start reading it? Janet?
Among immigrant workers, Morris Rosenfeld was probably the most beloved of the sweatshop poets. His poems and songs were recited and sung at Jewish union meetings, rallies, and strikes. Even today, mein Ruheplatz, my resting place, is sometimes sung at memorials for the Triangle Shirtwaist Company fire of 1911. Born in 1862 in Boxe, Poland, he left to work in Amsterdam as a diamond cutter and in London as a garment worker. He began writing labor poems and was drawn to both socialism and Zionism. He moved to New York in 1886 and worked in sweatshops on the Lower East Side.
Okay, thank you, Janet. Myra, you want to read a bit? Myra, you are with us?
Sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize.
Okay, go on.
In 1888, Rosenfeld published his first collection of Yiddish poems, Die Glocke, the Bell, which was followed by Die Blumenkette, the Flower Wreath, in 1890. Rosenfeld often gave public readings and recitals of his songs. He hoped to earn enough from his books and recitals, but repeatedly had to go back to the sweatshops to make a living. In 1898, Harvard professor Leo Weiner translated Rosenfeld's Liederbuch, Book of Poems, into English with the title Songs from the Ghetto. That book and later translations into German, Hungarian, Polish, Romanian, and Bohemian gave him an international reputation, especially in the labor movement.
Okay, thank you, Myrev. Dave?
Okay, go. Rosenfeld continued poems, articles, and essays to the fellowship.
Volkszeitung.
Book series, People newspaper, and
Arbeiterfeind.
I got to put my Brillen on.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Maybe you should talk with us.
Go ahead, friend of the.
Friends of workers,
Okay.
Arbeiter,
Zeitung.
Zeitung.
Arbeiter Zeitung.
Can you see it? Go
I'm
ahead.
having some difficulty saying. The workers' newspaper, Forwards, Forward, and the Yiddish Tagblatt,
Okay. Tageblatt.
Yiddish
Tageblatt.
Tageblatt, Yiddish daily paper in 1900. He was a delegate to the Fourth Zionist Congress in London. Rosenfeld suffered increasingly from poor health, and his death
The
and his
the
death of his son in 1905 struck a further blow,
Oh my God.
a
That's enough.
paralysis
I don't think it's
following, and he was unable to work or write for a year. He managed with the support of the unions and sympathetic philanthropists. In 1908, he toured in Europe, giving recitals and lectures, but raised little money. He died of a stroke in 1921,
23.
and at the age of 61. His funeral was attended by over 10,000 people.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Thanks. Henrietta, can you go on?
The lyrics include a number of Deutschsprechens, modern German words, and spellings favored by some Yiddish writers. For example, liebst du instead of hast du lieb, or hast lieb. The term of endearment, mein Schatz, instead of mine, I can't read. Okay. My treasure instead of mine oyster from Hebrew.
Oyster.
Vari is true, and Treibi is gloomy, and Heiter auf is cheer up. The recording here is by Linda Hirschhorn and the Quintet Vocaler. They're wonderful. Their arrangement is absolutely magnificent.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start read the Yiddish. Svetlana, you read Yiddish, Svetlana?
Jo, ich read.
Okay, so line.
Nicht such mich, wo die Myrten grünen, gefinst mich dorten nicht, mein Schatz. Wo lebend Welken bei Maschinen, dorten ist mein Ruheplatz.
Okay, can you translate it, please?
Don't look for me in green, where green mirt is. You don't find me there, my treasure.
My dear, my dear.
My dear. Where is what is welcome?
Wither.
Wither.
Disappear.
We
live by the machines.
Where lives wither.
Where machines are, yeah, near machine.
No.
No, it's where lives wither.
Disappear or fade.
What?
Where lives fade.
Oh,
Okay.
there is my place of resting place.
Yes, okay. Maurice, just a moment. Let Maurice do it again in order, okay? Good, Svetlana. Now I know what you know.
Okay, so it's don't look for me where myrtle flowers bloom. You will not find me there, my treasure. Where lives wither next to machines. He's talking about the sweatshops. He's talking about the sewing machines.
Oh, well,
People-
lives.
Where people fade away sitting at those machines. That's where you'll find my resting place.
Okay, it's not an easy song, so. Okay, Isabel, read, and if you cannot translate, Maurice will translate it, okay?
Nicht such mich, wo die Vögel singen. Don't look for me where the birds sing. Gefinst mich dort nicht, mein Schatz. You won't find me there, my treasure. A Schlaf, wo Kiten klingen. Dorten ist mein Ruheplatz. I can't do the third line.
Okay, Maurice will do it for you, or for us.
Dorten is mein Ruheplatz.
Maurice, please, can you translate
Sure,
it?
okay. Nicht such mir, wo die Vögel singen. Don't look for me where birds sing. You findest mich dort nicht, mein Schatz. You won't find me there, my treasure. A Sklav bin ich, a slave am I, wo Keiten klingen, where the chains are, klingen is to ring, where chains are clanging. Dorten is mein Ruheplatz.
What is
That's where my
Schlaf?
resting place is.
Schlaf?
Slave.
Still don't get it.
Love is slave.
Schlaf, schlaf.
Okay, Isabel, slave, S-L-A-V-E.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Cookie?
Yeah, I'll try.
Try.
Nicht such mich, wo von Tannen springen,
Spritzen. Von Tannen spritzen.
Tannen spritzen. Gefind mich dort nicht, mein Schatz. Wo Tränen
Rinnen.
Zähne Kritze,
Itzen.
Kritze,
Should be a nun, kritzen.
Should be in.
Kritze, a grinding teeth.
Yes.
Dorten is mein Ruheplatz. Don't look for me. For Tannen spritzen. Where fountains flow.
Spritzen is spray, where fountains spray.
Spray, okay. Gefind mich, you'll find me, you won't find me there, my treasure. Do here tears flow. Yes? Tears
Yes.
flow and teeth grind.
Yes,
And teeth grind. And that is where my resting place is.
good.
Oh, good. Okay.
Thank you.
Moshe Gelb, you want to try, Moshe?
Me?
No, Maurice
Moshe
Gelb.
Gelb.
Maurice Gelb. You joined us after a long time. So,
No, a schönem Dank, aber hab genieg du sitzen, Herren, Scheppen, Nackes.
Okay.
Good.
kein Problem. Okay, Marsha, so you. But you muted yourself, Marsha.
Entschuldig.
Okay.
Ich liebst du mich mit wahre Liebe. Tor kannst du mir mein guter Schatz
Same word, over and over.
in hinter
Hi.
Peter,
Mein Herz, das.
und hinter auf mein Herz door Trebe. Ich
Liebe.
und mich mehr sind mein Ruheplatz. Someone else has translated.
Okay, no.
Thank you.
Maurice will read again and translate, okay?
sure. Und liebst du mich mit wahre Liebe? And if you love me with true love, so komm zu mir, mein guter Schatz. Then come to me, my great treasure. Und heite auf mein Herz das Triebe. And cheer up my gloomy heart. Und mach mir süß meine Ruheplatz. And make my resting place sweet.
Oh, you could just cry.
Okay. we
There he
finished
is, by Maschinen.
the machine.
What terrible lives they have lived.
Can you
Dressing.
translate the third row on the
Former,
This one, und heiter?
wo trennen, reinen, seiner Kreuzer.
Oh, that's the one before, right?
Yes.
Wo Tränen rinnen, where tears flow, und seine Kritzen, it should be a nun, and the teeth, people grit their teeth, grind their teeth.
Can you put the picture back up for a moment?
The picture, sure.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I really want to look at that. Thank you.
Yeah, like
It's a
caught in a web.
fantastic that picture. Do we know?
The web. That's,
You know who drew the picture?
I don't know because Michael is preparing the.
Okay.
Michael is preparing the PowerPoint, but we can find it.
It's from one of his, it's from one of Morris Rosenfeld's collections of poems. So if you go on the web and you type in like images, Google images, and you put in Morris Rosenfeld or Liederbuch, you'll probably find it on the web.
Look how suggestive, it's so suggestive. He's caught in a web. He's caught in a web.
Spider web, yeah. It's an interesting interpretation rather than chains and other forms of slavery.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank
The
you.
music is beautiful.
The music is beautiful. That's right. So, okay, I will try to mute everyone. Just let me see here. I just don't see it here. Okay, guys, just let's not.
By the way, on this page, für Lebens Welken, that verb Welken is actually in the reading that we're doing with Mina. I think it was gewelkt or something like that. And we had it last time in the song Fallen Blätter, Autumn Leaves, because the leaves are withering.
Okay, let's listen to it once again, okay?
Sure.
Niet zoek mich wo, die Myrten grün en gefinst mich dort, niet mein Schatz, wo Lebenswelken bei mir schienen, dorten ist mein Ruheplatz, dorten ist mein Ruheplatz. Niet zoek mich wo, die Vögel singen, gefinst mich dort, nicht mein Schatz. A schlaf bin ich, wo Ketten klingen, dorten ist mein Ruheplatz. Dorten ist mein Ruheplatz. Nicht such mich wo, von Tannen spritzen, mich dort nicht mein Schatz. Wo Tränen rinnen, Zähne kreuzen, dorten ist mein Ruheplatz. Dorten ist mein Ruheplatz. Und liebst du mich mit wahrer Liebe, du kommst zu mir, mein guter Schatz. Und heiter mein Herz das triebe und mach mir süß, mein
I have a question. May I ask a question?
Sure.
Yes, yes, sure, Cookie, sure.
Did he write the music and the words?
Yes, he wrote
He wrote
many
music
poems
too?
and he wrote many songs
Oh
and
my
he was
God.
quite talented
Oh my
and
goodness.
he performed them.
Beautiful.
Okay. Sergio, yeah. Sergio, you wanted to ask something?
He's hearing
I
you.
cannot understand. Yes, I cannot understand where is Herr Ruikerplatz? Near the machine.
Oh, no. Okay, Maurice, tell him.
So the Ruheplatz is where he's gonna die.
Right.
It's because his life is so bitter. It's like he's dying every
That's
time he
his
goes
resting place.
to the shop. It's not really, he won't be at the machine, but he'll be resting. He'll be dead.
That is a
Figuratively
very
speaking,
vehicle.
not literally.
Hat gehabt noch Kinder, ein Kind von den Kind, was ist selber gestorben?
Meine Sache hat gehabt zwei andere Kinder.
Also, Roy,
Sicher, aber ich meine es zwei andere, ja.
Even ter
Okay.
weiß, was noch passiert mit sie, wie sehen sie?
Wir können sichern. Wir können sichern, aber nicht jetzt. Ja, Henrietta, ja.
sie haben gearbeitet, lange Shows. Nicht gehabt kein Leben. This is what the song reflects. They worked hours and hours and hours and had no home life.
Yeah.
So he was a slave to his machine. And this is what the song projects to everyone.
Ja, du sagst es.
And it was unexpected because they came to this land where the streets were paved with gold and not the life they envisioned for themselves.
There is a song about the machine worker who never gets to see his son.
Yes.
That's his too.
Morris Rosenfeld, I think, wrote that one. And that's a very touching tune too.
Yeah, and there's a one about Michael, the one where the Jew is the owner of the shop and treats his people like slaves.
Michael, the operator? No.
Operator, yeah.
Okay.
There are a lot of songs on this theme, unfortunately.
Because we were the sweatshop workers.
Yes, my parents
came.
were.
Mine
My
too.
parents were, yeah. But that was one of the trades that they came with. They
Yes,
didn't
yes.
much, but that was one of the trades that they learned in Europe.
And they could get jobs here doing it, just like the new immigrants, Hispanic, or a lot of the Hispanics are now in what we call the sweatshop, the shops.
Yeah, but what was unfortunate in so many instances was that it was the Jews who came the generation before who were the sweatshops owners and oppressing their own people.
Exactly.
If you can get to see the movie Uncle Moses, which is in Yiddish, and you can get it from the organization in Brandeis that has refreshed many of those films, which deals exactly with that situation. It's a sweatshop. The workers are exploited. The workers go on strike, and the sweatshop owner, Uncle Moses, makes this impassioned speech where he says, "I'm giving you a job. I'm paying your salaries, and this is how you repay me." So it's this whole thing about playing on ethnic identity and, I'm taking care of you, but in fact, he's exploiting them at the same time.
I have an idea.
It's really a fine movie.
I have an idea. From time to time, we are having movie night.
Yes.
We haven't had it for a long time.
Right.
Maybe we can ask Michael. Michael has the collection of movies. Maybe we can ask Michael to have another movie night and we can watch Uncle Moses.
That's why it became the song of the Triangle Fire, because that's what happened.
Yeah. Okay. So I will ask
I
Michael.
wanted to add, I was just reading about this, that the reason why all that was happening is because right at that time, the railroads were being built across the US. And for the first time, you could ship out your clothing and merchandise to shops all over the country. And so that's why the business was exploding right then when the Jews arrived.
For better and for worse.
And for
Yeah,
worse, yes.
exactly, exactly.
And then a
Okay,
lot of
Marsha?
Yes, I can invite you to my Zoom room. I can have 500 people and we can mute everybody. It does it automatically. And just the presenter will be, so everybody could watch the movie and they won't make any noise. So we could talk
No.
about it.
Okay, but usually Michael is doing it really well because he has the movie.
Well, I'll make him the co-host. It would work because I'll talk to you about
Okay,
it.
we will talk about, the technical details, we will talk about it later. So if no one has any more comments or anything, so let's move on to the story, but can anyone?
Yeah,
give
do they mean in the 1930? What year was it the sweatshop?
Like
Starting in the
1880s to
Starting in the 1880s, there was this vast migration from Russia, from Poland, and so on. The
Because
1880s.
in the beginning of the century, 19th century,
before 1880s.
immigration was to Israel as a Zionist.
Okay, but we are talking now about, it's something else altogether, Neely. No connection here. We are talking about the sweatshop in the United States, so there really isn't a connection.
Yeah, but they complain.
Everyone complains, Neely. Everyone complains. So everyone complains. We don't have, no, it's something really different.
Complaining is
Let's not get into it, really. Let's not get into it.
It's the connection, complaining.
Yeah.
complaining is part of Jewish DNA.
Nina,
There is a saying that if you complain,
Nina,
God
this
lets you
history.
live longer. Okay,
We
Sergio,
do it
yes?
so eloquently, though.
Yeah. Sergio, you wanted to say something? Sergio, the connection is not good, I think. I heard him.
He did say something, but we couldn't
this
hear
history
it.
is being developed in New York. Yeah, I'm trying. That history is being developed in any specific city or USA in general? Or New
USA
York?
in general.
Mainly on the East Coast, but there were also in other places. But the East Coast, because there were most of the immigrants came to the East Coast, so that's why. But there were also in other places. See, like in San Francisco, it was sweatshops, but only with Chinese, not with Jews.
Yeah.
So it depends on the immigration.
But the Jews won't go specifically to New York?
Yes,
New York.
most 95% of the Jews from Poland and Russia went to New York.
New York, Philadelphia.
And the second and third
came to
option for
Galveston.
Jews? Excuse
They
me?
also came to Texas, to Galveston.
Yeah, they also came to Texas, but that's another kind of immigration.
Yeah, it's a different time, I know.
It's a different kind of immigration.
Later on.
Yeah.
Where in Texas?
Galveston.
Oh.
Galveston.
Galveston, the port.
Okay, what I want to I just want to recap the story. Can someone do it for me? Like Barbara, can you just tell about the story? What we read?
But in
until
English,
now?
I can't do it. Yeah, I
In
can only
English.
do it in English.
In
Yeah.
English, in English.
Oh, okay. So the story is about a very privileged, aristocratic woman who is admired greatly in Kovno, where she was born and raised. And turns out that there were bad economics for her family, and it affected the children. And she had brothers who left for other places. And one brother, her youngest brother, went to America, and she went along with him. And they worked very hard. Here they were from aristocratic, affluent background, but they worked very hard. like sweatshop laborers. And she grew prematurely gray. And she didn't assimilate really to American life. The brother gets married to a Russian woman who also has some kind of background that's prominent, and the two sister-in-laws do not get along. The Kovna, sister-in-law, does have a room in the home of the brother and the sister-in-law, and that's kind of where we left off. Now there is the sister-in-laws again don't get along, and the Russian sister-in-law really would like to get the Kovna sister-in-law out of her house.
Exactly. Okay, so let's continue reading and see what's going on. Okay, we are on page 100. Okay. Susan, would you like to continue to start? Susan.
Es ist übergekommen ein junger Mann von Kovna. In der Heim ist gewesen a Garber. Somebody arrived, a young man from Kovna, and where he used to live in the Alter Heim, he was a tanner. He tanned leather. In London hat sich ausgelernt dem Buchbinderfach. In London, he learned to be a bookbinder. That was another area that Jews were in. Geworden a Sozialist, gewesen vermischt in a strike. He became a socialist. He got involved in a strike. Und die Londoner Polizei hat gehabt auf ihm ein Auge. And the London police were keeping an eye out for him. Da hat sich derwusst von sein Kovner Landsman. And here he found out about his Kovner Landsley, from the same town, und umgekommen bei ihm arbeiten. And he went to work with him. Sam Garber, hat gut gedenkt Elisheva und ihr Bruder von Kovna. He, Sam Garber.
I think Sam the Tanner or something like this.
Yes. Sam Tanner, but that was maybe his last name.
Yeah. Also maybe.
Well,
yeah.
He remembered well Elisheva and her brother from Kovna. Is noch gewesen a 10-jährig Engel. He was only a 10-year-old boy at the time. Gewohnt ergens in a Hintergessel. He lived in one of the back streets. Und Elisheva ist schon dämmelt gewesen a 20-jähriger. And Elisheva was at that time a 20-year-old Mädel, a young girl. Hat sie erkannt when he knew her. She was 20 and he was a 10-year-old. Hat sie gesehen in Fabrik. He saw her in the factory. Wenn sie ist gekommen, sehen dem Bruder, when she would come to see her brother. Natürlich, sie hat ihm nicht gekannt und nicht gedenkt. Naturally, she didn't know him and didn't remember him.
Okay, thank you, Susan. Rochelle, please.
Yeah. Elisheva's Bruder hat lieb gehabt Kovne und jeden, wer es ist nur hergekommen von Kovne. Hat
just translate it and then continue.
Verbeten. Okay. Elisheva's brother loved anyone who came from Kovne. Und jederin, wer es ist nur and anyone who came from Kovna. And that, therefore, he invited them, Afilu Sam Gorbert zu sich in Huis. So he invited them home. Jener is gekommen und bisslachweis is geworden an ofter Besucher und Hausfreund, and he became a frequent guest and a friend a home friend as well as in the factory. Hat gegeben und zu, I can't read what it's moving, gegeben unzu herrschenisch, unzu ernisch your man,
ihr
man as me bedarf zijn Elisheven zu verschlieren mit ihm.
Okay, so zu
verschleiern, okay, to tie, to bind.
It's
to marry
also
to marry her off.
Okay, to marry. Okay. All right, so
To what? To marry.
Yeah, to marry off. So Olga let her husband know that they should marry off Elisheva with this guy.
All right, if it's underlined, everyone, if you see Minna underlined it, then she has the translation to the side.
does that have the same root as the word shoelace, schneel?
No, it's from.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, Maurice, you tell
What
it.
occurred to me.
A slayer is a veil, and it has to do with the veiling and unveiling of a wedding. It's
And a
official, a slayer.
It's part of the ritual.
Part of the ritual, yes, right. It's part of the wedding ritual in Orthodox ceremony.
Okay, thank you,
Unveil
Rachel.
the bride.
Rachel, thank you. Zuli, I saw that you are with us today.
Ja. War Zeit oder mit ein der Fall nicht gerät und in ihr Winkel nicht gekommen, erlauben sich das zu sagen. In the week, didn't go or didn't talk, and he didn't go to that place for erleben, I don't know, erlauben, to allow sich to gain.
So the brother, when he heard his wife suggesting that they will marry off Elisheva, he didn't speak with his wife for 1 week.
Yeah.
He just couldn't get the idea.
Ja. Olga natürlich hat nicht gemeint, sehr jung du zu mindern. Olga naturally didn't want her sister-in-law. Well, I lost myself.
It's yichus.
Ja. Sie hat gewollt, Elisheva soll Chassene haben mit ihrem Mann, soll nicht dürfen aushalten, seine Schwester. She wanted her to get married, so her husband didn't have to keep up with the Schwester.
Yeah, so she didn't want the Iches to interfere with the Shidduch.
That's it.
because he's a worker, he's a simple worker, okay? Okay, thank you, Zuli. Rafael, can you read?
Yes. Ina, what is mindern?
Mindern is to diminish.
Diminish.
What
To
is
make
that? Which
smaller.
word?
To diminish, Rafael says to diminish.
Which
make-
word? Which word?
Which word?
Mindern.
Mindern.
This one, mindern.
Minimize.
Yeah.
Does everyone know what yichus is?
Yes. Oh, yes, I do very well.
If
Yes.
you are a Jew, you know what
I
yichus
never
is.
take anything for granted.
Yes.
Okay, Rafael, please.
Olga hat angeheuben zu reden mit Samen wegen dem. Olga began to speak with Sam about it. Because in the previous paragraph, you see that the brother really doesn't want to speak to her. What's her name, by the way? The sister.
Elisheva.
Elisheva, of course. The brother doesn't want to speak to Elisheva about it. So Olga now began to speak to Sam about it. Hat sich schier nicht sein Kopf, hat schier sein Kopf nicht gespalten von Gedank. For him, his head almost split, opened up from such a thought, because he remembers her as a beauty back in Covenant. A ganze Nacht hat nicht gekannt einschlafen. He couldn't sleep, couldn't get to sleep for an entire night. Chasna haben mit Elisheva, he getting married to Elisheva, as soll es wegschreiben in Kovna, in a Gessel, wo hat gewollt. If he should write such a thing away to back to Kovna, into that little street where he had lived, as Schachke Garbe, hat da in America Chasna gehabt mit Elisheva, that he, Schachke was his name there, Schachke, the leather worker, here in America, had married Elisheva, Yechiel Natanzon's Tochter, the daughter of Yechiel Nathanson. Kovna vet umgehen auf Räder. Kovna will spin around on wheels. By golly. Of course, that's English. By golly. Wird es tun. He will do it. Und sie sollen dort wissen, als da in Amerika is kein Yichus nicht da. And they should know there, back in Kovna, that here in America, we don't worry about Yichus, about petticoat. Arm and reich, alle gleich. Poor and rich, all the same. Da is der Rov und der Beder, von ein Leder. These are rhyming expressions. Here, the rabbi and the bathhouse attendant are built of the same leather.
Oh, no.
That's for a leather tanner.
Oh, no.
Yeah, of course, he's a tanner.
Yeah. No,
Emma's-
no hijos, but what about the difference in years?
Well, it's only 10 years.
Only?
And it's been 15 years since she's been since she left. So he's now what 25, she's 35. It's not so bad. No, Emma's, sie is mit Senior älter than, but after all, as you say, she is 10 years older than he. Mit graue Haar, with gray hair. Aber sie is doch Elisheva. But she is, of course, Elisheva. Das schönste Mädel in Kovna gewesen. She was the prettiest girl in all of Kovna. A viele mit ihrer Heuche Kamaschlach hat man doch gehört. People would even speak about her high-heeled shoes. Wird es tun, so he will do it. Is a Sozialist. He is a socialist. Wird beweisen, as alle Menschen seien gleich. And he'll show that all people are equivalent. When as is gekommen Sonntag, hat sich Sam angetan sein neuen blauen Anzug. When Sunday came, Sam put on his new blue suit, dem roten Krawatt, the red tie, und die lackierte Schicht and the polished shoes, und gegangen, sehen Elisheva, and he went to see Elisheva.
Okay, thank you, Rafael.
That's
May
wonderful
I,
to
may
continue.
I interrupt for a minute? May I interrupt for a minute?
Yes, you can. Of course you can.
Yichus was very important in our home. My mother always taught us that we, as children of a shechet and a chazan, that we had yichus and that we were of a higher level than the other children. Not only that, she made us say you have to act in a certain way because of your yichus. And my father wasn't the best husband, so I once said to my mother, Mom, wouldn't you rather be married to that painter across the street and he would be a better husband? She says, no, mein Kind, mit der Tate habe ich Yichus. Yichus was very important in my house, and we were kind of snobbish. And when I would get angry with my husband, who was a laundryman's son, I would look at him and I would say, Wo kommst du zu mir?
Oh my God.
That's how I would end our fight. Wo kommst du zu mir?
Your parents
Okay.
were from Poland? Your mother was from Poland?
Huh?
Your mother was from Poland?
My mother was a what?
From
Yes, she came from Poland.
Poland. She was from Poland, yeah. And
Oh,
she could have
of
married
course.
someone else who loved her very much, but she wanted my father because it elevated her status in the Orthodox community to be married to a shechet and a chazan and a Masada
Yeah,
Kaddish.
yeah.
She says, no, mit der Tate habe ich Yichus. And I once asked my father, I said, Pa, Lenny wants Naden. He says, Von dir darf ich nicht geben kein Naden. Ich will ihm geben Naden. Naden.
Okay,
Oh, Yichus was very important in our house.
thank you
And
for
she
the
made it-
story.
That's great.
It places this story in a whole new light.
Sorry,
Okay.
but I guess that most of the mothers say a similar speech to the children about hijas. My mother
no.
said the same.
No, in Israel we didn't have iches. No.
No, I never heard it here in the United States. Maybe from other.
Yes, I heard from my mother.
Okay.
At least in the Shchuna.
אבל ich habe Scheile, wie viel
Okay,
Mol,
Rochale.
ich habe Scheile, wie viel Mol, wenn ich erkennt an einem Jid,
Rochale, the connection is not so good. Rochale, we cannot hear you because you are breaking. Rochale, we cannot hear you. You are breaking. Okay, try to fix your connection, Rochale.
Okay.
Okay, Sergio, can you continue reading? Sergio, you are muted, Sergio.
Sie getroffen, sitzendig auf dem Divan mit einem Buch in der Hand. He find her sitting in the divan,
The sofa.
The sofa, with a book in her hand.
Good.
Ongeton in Zeit. Zeit. What is Zeit?
Silk.
What?
Dressed in silk.
Silk.
In silk. Ongeton in Zeit.
Seda.
Seda, yes. Samet Creme Spitzen. Dressed with seda. And what is Samet Creme Spitzen?
So she was dressed in silk, in velvet, and in lace.
What is the
Creme,
word
I think cream. I think that's the color cream. Yes?
Oh, right.
But isn't the word spitz like we used to go off spitznagel?
Lace. Spitzen is lace.
Samet is velvet. In Spanish, it's terciopelo.
Very
I
good.
always thought Spitzen was rickrack, which is at the trimming,
The what?
that-
The embroidery?
little points on it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
No, this is something else. That's something else, Cookie. Okay. Sergio, go on.
Sie ist vor ihm erschienen wie eine stolze polnische Prinze, vor welche weiß afilu nicht, wie sich zu verneugen. She was for him erschienen, looking as a strong Polish princess, no?
Okay, stolz is proud.
Proud.
Like a proud Polish
princess.
Like a proud Polish
No.
princess.
Not princess. Princess is from Puritz. Puritz, princess. That's the
Noblewoman.
Noblewoman.
Rega, just a moment. Rafael, what did you?
Pritze.
No, noblewoman.
A
Noble.
noble
It's a
one.
noble one, yeah.
Okay, go on, Sergio.
Yes. Vor welche weiß afilu nicht, wie sich zu verneugen. That for this kind of woman, he doesn't know even how to
I
How to bow
think-
down. How to bow down.
How to?
Okay, only Rafael, because we cannot hear when everyone is talking.
Just how to bow down.
How
to what?
To bow down.
Bow
How
down.
to bow. Okay.
Do you think the meaning is approach?
How to appreciate?
How to approach, maybe.
Approach would be what I would say.
Yes, it looks more adaptable. How to approach. Sich verloren mit Schwindler in Kopf oder herabgenommen das Hitler und ihr ausgestreckt Hand. Sich verloren, he lost, he get lost with Schwindler. What is Schwindler?
I think with a movement, with the movement of his head.
From the take off his cap.
No, hat.
His head.
Take off his head from his head. Ihr ausgestreckt Hand and gave her hand.
And so, just a moment, Rafael, yes?
Yes, for the word schwindel, it means usually dizziness. So feeling dizzy, most likely emotionally dizzy, not physically dizzy. He took off his hat.
Okay, good. Okay. Sergio, Sie hat?
Sie hat schnell zurückgehabt, ihr kleine, dünne Hand von seine, reut und breit, kiemat keilebegdick. She take off his hand immediately from her hand, red and embarrassing. Kimat kailechdik.
What does that mean?
Kailechdik is like
Almost round.
devil, no?
Her
Weak.
face.
Not
No,
almost
Kyler Dick is round.
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 It's referring to her face.
No.
No. It's referring to the end.
What does it mean?
It refers to the end.
He's describing her hands.
No, it's his hand.
No, it's
His hand.
His hand is
His
red.
hers was thin and delicate.
I know.
His hand
Right.
was-
Hand.
He withdrew it from him.
Yeah, Rafael, yes.
Yeah, I was just going to agree. Her hand is small and thin. His is broad and almost round.
Mhm.
Like a mitt.
Yeah.
Sorry?
He
Like a
has a
what,
grubby,
Barbara?
he has a grubby hand, like a grubby hand. Hers is refined and his is grubby.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Sergio. Thank you. Beverly, can you continue?
Yes. We used to say schwindelt in the Augen. Schwindelt in the Augen. You're dizzy with your eyes. Hat sie der Mond. He reminded her, wer is von Kovna, who he is from Kovna. Der zählt alles, was es hat getroffen nach ihr wegfahren. And he told her everything that happened since she left. Wer es hat hat, who got married, wer is avec in America, who went to America, and wer is verarmt, verarmt geworden, and who got poor, who became poor. Sie hat ihm als ausgehört. She listened very carefully. Derweile ihm betracht dem Weiberschen keilig dicken Stern mit einem modnem vorheilten Schnitt beim Brem. I'm not sure who they're talking about. Meanwhile, she's listening to him, but I don't know what it means. Derweil.
In the meantime.
In the meantime, she's thinking or he's thinking?
Yeah.
Who's thinking?
She is.
She's looking at him. She's thinking with her womanness that he has around
Oh, his eyes?
Forehead.
Eyebrows.
Oh, his eyebrows on his forehead.
Stern is forehead, no?
Yes, Stern is forehead.
I'm not sure what that means. Schnitt beim Brem. I'm not sure what that is.
A cut by his eyebrow.
Oh,
Okay,
has a
Rafael, yeah.
He has a scar.
That's right. And betrachten is not to think, it's to examine. So she was examining his feminine round forehead that had a strange healed scar at the eyebrow.
She's looking him over.
Right.
Die rechte Kreislach auf den Kopf. The red, what is Kreislach?
Curls.
Oh, curls on his head. Der rechte Punim mit die dünne Lippen. His red face with thin lips. Die lackierte Schiech. His lace shoes mit die
lacquered shoes.
Lacquered.
Oh, lacquered.
Polished shoes.
The polished shoes.
Patent leather?
Lacquered.
No.
Yeah, it's patent leather, exactly. Lacquer is patent leather.
I don't think
Mit
so.
die grubbe bruine Sachen, with his thick brown shoes, socks. Amazing, amazing image. Als ihm hat sie verlässt und beleidigt. Everything around him.
She was insulted.
What?
She was insulted.
Neely, what did you say, Neely?
Beleidigt, she was insulted, no?
Yes.
Everything. Yes.
Everything. She was hurt and insulted. Und wie gefällt euch America, Elisheva? So he says to her, how do you like America, Elisheva?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Beverly.
Great. Beautiful, beautiful reading.
Yeah, the imaging is outstanding.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Brenda?
Oh ja, Broch. Okay.
Ein bisschen, Brenda. Es ist nicht gebrochen.
Ich bin schon da so lang. Ich habe mich schon zu Amerika zugewendet, hat sie geantwortet. Okay. So she has been so long in America.
She's accustomed.
zugewöhnt is accustomed?
Get used to.
Got
Used to.
or became accustomed.
Okay. Hat sie geändert. And another line. Okay. Und mir gefällt Amerika sehr gut. She likes America very much.
No.
No.
He says it. That's he says. He's asking. She's saying that she got used to America.
Okay.
And now
Und mir gefällt. So he likes it very much.
yeah.
Right.
Und mir gefällt. Okay. Noch besser wie London. Better than London. Und das ist genug.
Okay. Okay.
Ashenim dank.
Judy, you want to try, Judy? Judy, you're with us?
Yes,
Yeah.
I couldn't get my,
Yeah,
anyway,
okay, try.
wait a minute, I'm trying to see where we are, wait a minute.
Those and then.
Wait a minute. Those seinen alle Menschen gleich, arm und reich. Here, everybody is the same, poor and rich. Ale Shebe hat
Geschwiegen.
I don't know what geschwiegen is.
Silent.
Silent.
Stay quiet. Stay
Quiet. Ihr hat sich gerecht
Gedacht.
gedacht, als sitzt schon too long. Something about he was sitting too long.
Yes, so she's,
Yeah.
She
It
thought
seemed
he
to
was
her.
sitting too long.
Aber hat weiter gerecht. However, he was going to continue talking. He
he
continued.
continue talking. Another sentence, okay?
Oy vey. Ich,
No.
lieb-
Hab
Obvious.
ich.
ja, hab ich euch
Briere.
ungeheuben zu der Zählen, wegen unser
Strike.
zurück
Strike.
Right.
Strike in London, wie
I'm sorry.
soll ich hab sich abgerechnet meinen mitten Streikbruder. I'm going to tell you about something about being in a strike in London.
Yes, he says that I wanted to tell you before about our strike in London.
Was ist abgerechnet?
Let us come to it in a moment.
Oh, I thought she did. Okay.
No. Wie soll ich hab sich abgerechnet? How to translate it?
Yeah.
How
I realized.
No, it's not
Came to
realized.
terms. Came to terms.
Rafael, help us out.
I think it's came to terms.
Yes.
Yes,
It can
you're
mean
right,
to
Beverly.
it can mean to pay off.
Yes.
Came to
that's-
terms with the
yeah.
strike breakers. And
Mhm.
what did we call strike breakers in English? Scabs.
Scabs.
Yeah,
It's
right.
here
The
too.
scabs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But are these
Okay. Thank you, Judy. Thank you. Maurice, I say, Morty, sorry. Morty.
strike breakers or my strike brothers?
No, breakers.
Rachel. Rachel.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Judy. Morty, please.
Einmal danach gehe ich mir so über die Gassen in Whitechapel. Once I was walking around on the streets in Whitechapel. That was the Jewish area in London. Da sehe ich mein Bucher. I see my boy. Wait, tracht ich. Und ich fahr vor ihm mit a gesunden Kulak in Neugerein a zweiten unteren Herzen. Wait, I think, and I greet him with a strong hit with my elbow in an eye, and a second one under his heart. Ich hab gefühlt, als ich hab ihm upgeschlagen Lungenleber. I feel that I hit him all over, really, is the expression. Lungenleber means lungs and liver, but all over. Und ich dreh mich herein in einen anderen Gas in pfeif mich ruhig die Marseillaise. And I walk quietly, peacefully in a different street and whistle quietly the Marseillaise. Der Zeil besser in Kovno, ich kenn wegen solche Sachen nicht hören, hat sie still bemerkt. Better talk about Kovno. I cannot listen to these things, she said quietly.
Okay, thank you.
Why she say that?
She's repulsed.
Violence.
Yeah, she doesn't like the violence
Continue
with which
further and we'll
he
hear
acted.
why.
Okay, Golda, read further and we will see. Golda.
Aber Ali Sheva meint nicht, als Revolutionär is a Gosling. But Ali Sheva doesn't think that a revolutionary
No.
or a
No,
thug.
he's talking now.
He's talking.
He's talking now. It's not her. He's talking to her. Because she
Ellie
said that-
Sheva don't think.
Oh, okay. But I don't think that a revolutionary is a thug. But a scab, a spion, and a spy make men unlearning. But a scab and a spy can learn.
No, you can teach him a lesson.
No, you can teach him a lesson.
Right.
Und ich zu meiden, ich mein, zu Damen bin ich schon einmal a gentleman. But to women, I think to Damen,
I mean to ladies.
To ladies, I'm always a gentleman. Aha. Das ist nicht Kovner. Da kann a fella a Gabe jung werden a gentleman. Here, this isn't Kovner. Here, even a tanner boy can become a gentleman. When ich bin gekommen zu euch, and I came to you, weil Eure Schwägerin, your sister-in-law, hat mir gebeten, asked me das heißt. Sie hat mir geraten, also she instructed me this way. Sie ist eher a kluge. She's a clever person. Da, sagt sie, spielt nicht keine Rolle, a bissl Jiches. Here, Jiches doesn't play any important role. Ich verdien ganz fein bei euer Bruder. I earn a nice living with your brother. I was wenn, whether here or there, wird mich machen fahren foreman. He'll advance me to being a foreman.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Golda. Rochale, your connection is okay? You can read now?
I can try.
Okay, we can hear you now. Rochale?
Ja. Wie ist dein mehr?
Elisheva.
Elisheva.
Kannst du mir hören? Okay. Ich lese von der Computer und ich rede von der Zelke.
Okay, Elisheva.
Elisheva ist verzitert geworden. Elisheva shook up. Ja, sie ist nervös aufgesprungen von dem Divan und befeuillen mit Stolz. Nervous, she jumped off from the sofa or the
Sofa, divan can be a sofa and a carpet. Here is a sofa.
Und befeuillen mit Stolz. And she said with a pride, what is befeuillen?
Retorted, countered.
She encountered?
She countered. She like the word foil, a sword. She countered or retorted.
Oh, okay, okay. Entschuldigt mir, geht daheim. Excuse me, go home. Ich will gehen essen Mittag. I want to eat lunch. Und schickt mir meinen Bruder her and send my brother over here. She's startled.
Excuse me, this is the first time I read Entschuldigung.
In what? Entschuldigt mir.
Entschuldigt mir.
Excuse me.
Ein.
Oder darf sein mit einem Aleph, nein?
No, no.
Yes.
Entschuldigt mir.
It should be with an olive.
Entschuldigt mir, nein?
I never saw it with an ein.
No.
Anyhow.
Yeah,
I did. This is written in a somewhat Germanic form. She most likely said Entschuldigt, but the editor here has written it out Germanically, as many of these words are, making it look more like German, Entschuldigt.
Because also a lot like gate ein, you know, that's
Yes.
like gate ein. Yeah.
Must have been printed a long time ago.
No, but when they printed it, at the beginning of the century, when they printed, they thought that, you know, using the Germanic way of speaking or of writing.
But Mina.
As a more iches, yeah.
But Mina, in German is Entschuldigung, also with an Aleph.
Entschuldigung with an E, I don't know. It depends what you know.
Well,
Entschuldigung with an E.
We
The
understand.
earlier part of the century was over 120 years ago. It's a long time ago.
Okay, Rochale, finish it.
It
Okay,
wasn't
I'll try to
until
pronounce it correctly. I will try to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, okay,
All
just a
right,
moment,
it's
Rochale.
good.
Susan?
it wasn't until about 1908 when they started to standardize Yiddish, when they had a conference in Chernovitz and they decided to get rid of the German spelling, etc., and make Yiddish more Yiddish and less German. But this was before 1908.
Probably. No, that's the collection is 1918. So, you know, even if Ivo decided on Klal Yiddish, it doesn't mean that all the publisher or the writers took notice of what they decided.
They standardized it in the schools, but it didn't get around to everybody.
Yeah, but also it took a long time until they, you know, standardized it. Okay, Rochale, finish it.
All right, ich gehe. Ich will euch schicken den Bruder. Okay, I'm going. I will send you your brother. Mir will noch sehen. We shall see. Hat gesagt. He said, gebändigt ihr wieder sein breite, kallig dicke Hand. He said, I think bending her again.
No, gebendig, while giving.
While giving his wide, round hand. Wenn ist weg, hat das Kind von Kovne, die jüdische Prieste, zusammengebrochen in a Gewein auf ihr seidenen Kischele. When he went away, the Yichesdike child from Kovno, the privilege, I don't know how to say that.
The privilege,
the Yiddish princess broke into a cry on her silk pillow.
Okay.
Vergerat Brit und Jiddisch und hat mir heimgeschickt etwas in Arabisch, dass ich kann lesen, es wird geworden am Mischmasch im Kopf.
Okay, so we finished
So that's
the
the
story.
end. That's the end. We don't know
That's
what happens
the end.
later.
That's
That's
the
right.
end.
Aw.
That's the end. And any comments?
I don't think she liked him.
It's not a question of liking, it's the question of the iches.
Right. Yeah, she's very insulted that he even approached her.
Exactly. So
I don't think the writer, I don't think the writer liked her, right?
Barbara?
I don't think.
Yeah.
Can
Somebody
you
speak.
hear me?
Not good. Not good.
Not good.
Not clear.
I was trying to say that I don't think the writer liked her because she said she broke into a cry into her silky pillow. And I'm thinking, what are you, stupid? Is 10 years younger. She's a mechayev.
Oh,
we did, Rochalen, this we didn't think about.
Yeah, but you know, she was the belle of Kovne. She felt herself, you know, she couldn't take it. She was too proud.
Right. She paid a dear price for that. She paid a dear price.
Barbara.
So I just said, she says, but I am accustomed to America, which isn't the case at all. She has not assimilated one bit.
But that's the feeling that she's
So that's the contradiction between her and him. He gets accustomed to and is moving forward, and she is still backward in the old country.
Is the implication that the sister-in-law put him up to it?
Yes.
Olga.
That's why she was mad. She didn't want her
That's
sister.
right. That's right. She was mad. But there was a snobbery. There's a snobbery.
Right.
When they came to America.
He wanted to go up to her and be with her for his benefit.
She wanted to get rid of her.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more comments?
Such
This is
is
delightful.
life. Such is life.
It's both, you know, it's rich and funny.
Right.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Or am I frozen? No.
No, you're
The
okay.
whole thing froze.
Rochelle? Okay.
Did you hear me?
And now we hear you.
Okay, it's both delightful and literally very rich in imagery and language. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, next week, Barbara sent me a story that she got from someone else, and it's a very funny story. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to read, but don't, because it has a lot of English words in it. So don't despair. We will read it together and make sense of it, but it is so funny, I was on the floor. So wait for it. If you can read it by yourself, okay. If not, we will read it together next class, okay?
Right. Is there more to the story?
Thank you.
Is there more to this story, or is that where it ends?
That's where it ends.
Okay.
That's where it ends. And I think that it's a good ending because, you know,
It is.
you can think for yourself how it will continue.
Well, it tells the story of this snobbish young woman who elevated herself up above everyone else. And that she still is unmarried, and that's where her teeth come from.
She's not snobbish. She comes from the high rank of
Can't hear you,
Lithuania.
Henrietta.
Why?
At least I couldn't.
She's not snobbish.
What do you?
Okay, Lily.
What?
Lithuanians are not always high ranking. It's not.
To me they are. To me they are. Both of my parents came from Lithuania.
Lily, what would we have done without you? Tell me, what would we have done?
You would not have what to laugh about. I'm very happy that you can laugh.
By the way, the lunch will be ready.
Actually, she sounded a little bit more Yekish to my mind.
Oh, me?
No, not you,
No,
Lily.
not you, the story.
Of course not. The
Oh,
story, the woman.
Elisheva?
Elisheva, yeah.
She's a...
She's what?
Yeah, I thought she was a little bit more Yekish than.
No, come on.
Okay. Rochale, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think it's another story that reflects the critical change from the life in Europe to America. And I think that's why many religious people perceived it as a treifa medina, because all the Jewish institutions kind of broke down. All the moral values that people grew up with them broke down. And we see it, like the way people were used by their own fellow people would be unheard of in other places. Not that Jews were not poor in Europe, they were. But this is a different take on being Jewish and how you feel to each other, including the situation between the two, because it shows the mobility, how things change. And it's in many times, it's a heartbreaker because people paid a very dear price for feeling ethnically belonging, and then too late they would discover what a terrible situation they fell in. And one of the worst things for me is what is called the white slavery that thrived in Argentina, where Jewish fellows would come to Europe, pretend to be a groom, and then rape the girl, and then she finds out that there are many brides like her already raped in the ship, then they're shipped to Argentina into prostitution. This is a new world, a new concept, a breakage of all the like many of the links that existed before. And it took time for the Jewish community to get over it. Eventually, I think in many cases they did, including with the white slavery, women got together and fought back against the phenomena and so forth. But the very fact that it did happen, it makes you wonder and think, and not only among Jews, each ethnic group has their own,
Okay,
Two of my
Louisa,
book groups talked
just
about
a moment,
this
let
same
Louisa
subject.
answer. Louisa.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think that this is a Jewish thing. This is culturally the difference between all of the European cultures that had a monarchy and aristocracy and nobility. And if you think of the culture in European countries to this day, there is a big issue about where you come from and who you are in terms of your descending from a more or less prestigious environment. Whereas that's why there are so many nobles in Europe that have come down in their status because they lost the lands or whatever, their riches or whatever. Whereas America is characterized by this culture of making yourself. And I think that is not really related to being Jewish. It is Europe versus America.
Thank you, Louisa. You put it in a wider context, and I think it's very important. Thank you. Yeah.
Very deep analysis.
I did say that. I said that it's a Jewish ethnic issue that is depicted through the stories, but it's a general issue that engulfs everyone who came to America, of course.
Europe is aristocratic, and America, in that regard, if we can hold on to this, America is democratic as opposed to aristocratic. Europe,
we have the same things, same problems in Israel. Depends on your culture, where you come from, what you study, where you study, how much you study.
Education means a lot. And education
Okay,
in Torah,
Yes.
Marsha,
education in Torah made a big difference.
Minna, I won't talk now. I wish you all well. Have a good week. I sent my message
Okay.
in the chat. Thank you.
Okay.
Sei gesund,
Okay.
alle.
Sei gesund, Mayrev.
So I just want to say something in favor of her personally. I mean, the fact that it ends with her throwing herself on the pillow, I mean, she might have been very sad that she did want to find a husband, and she felt like this is how low it's come, that this is the only offer I'm getting. So I mean, it was more than just the inequalities of status and the yichus and all that. It was also that she wasn't doing very well in the new world, and she didn't know what to do about it, probably.
Yeah, she has a sister-in-law that humiliates her.
And
I
the
have a
sister-
question.
Yes.
I'm going with a new guy, but he is a Kohen. And by us, a Kohen has the highest yichus. My father was only Yisrael. We used to teach him about it.
Oh,
So
no,
now I
I
can't say
don't
Wo
believe
kommst du
this.
zu mir, because he's of a higher elevation than I am in the Orthodox world. He's a Kohen. I'm only from an Israeli. So I can't use that anymore. To my husband, I was able to say Wo kommst du zu mir, but not to him.
Anyway, Cookie,
Yeah.
it's not nice to say it to anyone.
I know, but I
No
only
husband, it's not nice.
No,
Seriously.
but when I got
Thank
angry
you,
with my
Minna.
husband,
Thank
when
you,
I got
Minna.
angry with my
Well
husband,
said.
it was the right thing to say. It was the
And
right
with that,
thing.
I'm
Shut him
gonna
up right
leave.
away.
Come on,
Mina,
it
I want
happened.
to add,
It taken from
Mina, I want to add
happened.
something funny.
Yeah.
Ich will sagen etwas komische Sache. My mom is gewesen so 2 oder 3 Monaten älter von meiner Tate. Und wenn sie gehabt etwas Argument, und sie hat nicht gewusst mehr, was zu sagen, was sie hat verspielt, hat sie gesagt. And besides, I'm older than you. So
Ja,
there
ich bin
you go.
älter von dir.
Bye bye.
And alle
Have a
Wunder
good
zu
week.
lachen, bis wir dann beenden.
Okay, it's a sad story, but we are having fun. So
Thank you. Toda raba.
Thank you.
okay,
Herzlichen
guys.
Dank.
I'll
Thank
see
you.
next-
Schönen Dank.
Thank you, Minna. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We see you next week.
You're.
And Morris, come back.
Svetlana, it's the same connection every week, okay? But we will keep sending. And in a couple of days, I will send a new story.
Oh, Manchester.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Minna.
Yes?
I just wanted to tell you, everybody else can go. I'm just going to tell you something technical.
Okay.
I believe that if you make Marsha a co-host, she can record things herself and save it.
Okay, yeah, that will be a good idea because I'm running out. I don't know why, but it says that I'm running out of space.
I bet you are, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a good idea. So either when Michael is present, he can make it, and when Marsha, because Marsha wants to put everything on YouTube.
Yeah, she's having fun doing it. But
Yeah.
she can make you put it on your computer, and then you have to figure out what to do with it and how to get it.
It takes too much space on the computer, yeah.
I
so.
believe she could record it herself if she's a co-host. Or
That's a good idea, Myra. Good idea. Thank you.
I think.
Okay. Bye. Bye, everyone.